All right, in this explainer, we're going to cackle a really provocative idea. It's this: attraction isn't lost because you stop loving someone, it's lost because you stop respecting yourself. The source we're looking at suggests that the real secret to a powerful magnetic connection actually lies in the boundaries you set. So, let's dive right in.
I mean, this quote really cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? The core argument here is that attraction isn't just something that passively fades away. No, it's something that's actively given up, little by little, the moment you start compromising on your own self-respect. It's a pretty challenging idea, so let's unpack exactly what the source means by that.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we're going to look at the main problem, what the source calls the self-respect connection. And then we'll get into the 5 specific, actionable boundaries that are presented as the solution.
All right, so first up, let's get into this whole self-respect connection. The source makes a really interesting point. When attraction dies, it's almost never because of some big dramatic explosion. Instead, it's more like a silent erosion, a slow, quiet process that can happen right under your nose without you even realizing it.
And right here, this is where the whole thing flips the common script. You know, we're all taught to think relationships fail because of huge things, right? Betrayal, cruelty, a total lack of love. But the argument here is that the real killer is often found in the small, quiet stuff, being too compliant, too agreeable, and slowly losing respect for yourself along the way.
A slow leak of power. That's the phrase the source uses, and it's such a great visual, right? Think about it. Every single time you apologize when you didn't do anything wrong, or you find yourself over-explaining a simple decision, you're letting out a tiny bit of your personal power. It's these small acts that quietly drain your authority in the relationship.
Okay, so if there's a slow leak, how do you patch it? Well, it all starts with the very first boundary. Never, ever reward disrespect. The idea here is simple. You teach people how to treat you, not with your words, but with what you are and are not willing to put up with.
And we need to be super clear about what rewarding disrespect actually looks like. It's not just about tolerating obviously bad behavior. It's also the subtle stuff, like chasing after someone when they pull away, or forgiving them way too fast without any real change in their actions. According to the source, every time you do that, you're sending a message that you're willing to trade your dignity for just a moment of connection.
And this isn't just about big, obvious things. The source points to some really subtle, but man, really powerful examples. We're talking about things like mockery that's just disguised as a joke, or constantly being interrupted when you're speaking. Even the silent treatment, or someone testing your values to see if you'll bend, these are all presented as forms of disrespect.
So what do you do about it? Well, the protocol for handling this is actually incredibly simple and direct. It's designed to take all the emotion out of it. Step 1, you correct it. Just once. Calmly, directly. No big speech. And step 2, if it happens again, you leave. It's not about creating drama. It's about creating a consequence.
And that idea of removing the drama leads us perfectly into boundary number 2, guard your peace. This is where the focus really shifts inward. The argument is that your own internal peace isn't some kind of luxury. It's a non-negotiable asset. It's your power source.
Just look at the difference here. It's night and day, right? A man without his peace is reactive. He's easily drained. He makes decisions based on emotion. But a man with his peace, the source calls him dangerous. And when they say dangerous, they don't mean physically threatening. They mean you're a force to be reckoned with because you're centered, you're calm, and your decisions are choices, not reactions.
All right, boundary number 3. This one might seem a little counterintuitive at first. It's don't overshare. This is all about understanding the dynamic of mystery and polarity in a connection. And this is such a critical point. The source is really clear here. This is not about playing games or being manipulative. It's about polarity. You know, that electric spark, that tension and curiosity that really fuels attraction? The thinking is, if you show all your cards on the very first date, well, there's no game left to play. There's nothing new to discover.
Give glimpses, not blueprints. I love that. It's the whole idea in a nutshell. Your inner world, your goals, your past, your deepest thoughts, that's something that should be discovered in layers, over time. Access to that world should be earned, not just handed over for free.
Okay, let's keep going. Boundary number 4, remain emotionally centered. This is all about being the eye of the hurricane, the calm in the storm. It's about maintaining your own internal stability, no matter what chaos is swirling around you.
Stillness is dominance. That's a heavy line, right? But think about what it means. If her bad mood can instantly put you in a bad mood, who's really in control of the situation?
She is. She's setting the emotional tone. But when you're truly centered, you are the rock. You're unmovable, and you set your own weather.
So this brings up a really fascinating question, and I want you to actually think about this for a second. In that tiny little fraction of a second, between something happening to you, the stimulus, and how you react to it, the response, what's in that space?
One word: power. That tiny little gap, however brief, is where you find the power to choose your response, instead of just being a slave to a knee-jerk reaction. The source argues that learning to live in that space is the absolute key to being emotionally centered.
And all of this leads to our final boundary, which the source argues is maybe the most powerful one of all: always be willing to walk. This is the ultimate expression of commitment, not to another person, but to your own values and your own self-respect.
And I think this is such an important way to reframe it. We tend to think of walking away as this aggressive, mean thing to do, but it's presented here as the ultimate act of loyalty. It's not about being cruel to them, it's about being loyal to yourself, to your standards, and to your peace.
So you see what happens here. When you put all 5 of these boundaries into practice, the whole game changes. You're no longer begging or negotiating for respect. You start commanding it, just by your presence. Your standards do all the talking for you.
And that really brings us to the heart of it all. The source leaves us with this final thought. Real growth, real self-respect, it never happens while you're clinging to something that doesn't serve you. So it leaves us with one simple but pretty damn difficult question to ask ourselves. What are you willing to let go of?